Carolina classrooms. North Carolina leaders are moving forward with new English standards for students from kindergarten all the way through high school.
Yeah, the State Board of Education approved them late last week. It's the first full update to English standards since 2017. It resets expectations for what students should be reading, writing, listening to, and talking about in school. So why change things now? Well, let's break it down for you. State education leaders say this update's really about one thing: helping students become stronger readers and communicators using teaching methods that research shows actually works.
And one of the biggest changes families may notice is what students are reading. There's going to be more focus on challenging material. This means not just novels, but a wider mix of things like nonfiction, poetry, shorter readings, audio, and visual text. The idea is to reflect the kinds of information students deal with in everyday life, not just in textbooks. Now, another shift is how literacy is taught. Instead of treating reading, writing, speaking, and listening as totally separate skills, the new standards tie them all together. Students build those skills at the same time with expectations that grow as they move up each grade. There's also a change in how long schools focus on reading basics. Under the new standards, support for things like vocabulary and language doesn't stop after elementary school. Middle and high school students will still get help building those skills, especially if they need extra support. So why should families care?
Well, because these standards shape what happens in the classroom every day, from reading assignments and writing projects to how students are tested. Parents may notice different types of reading, new writing expectations, and a bigger focus on understanding and communication, not just memorizing information. State leaders say the goal is to make sure students graduate able to think critically, communicate clearly, and work through complex ideas. Skills that matter in college, on the job, and in everyday life.
Yeah, and this won't happen, of course, overnight. Schools will spend the next couple of years training teachers and building new resources. We're told the changes should be fully in place, including updated state tests by the 2027-28 school year. Education officials stress this isn't about flipping a switch in classrooms tomorrow.
No, it's about raising expectations gradually and making sure every student has a strong foundation in reading and communication. You hear from hiring managers all around, right? Those soft skills. Can you communicate? Yes. Can you critically think? That's, I think, what the idea is here behind all of this.
Very, very important.
It is indeed. All right, before we